What's up everyone, welcome to 3 Gaming Yetis. Today we're diving into a game that's shaking up the Battle Royale world in a big way. You've heard of Off the Grid, right? If not, don't worry, I've got you covered, and if you weren't aware, this isn't your kid's Fortnite, because it's definitely for a more mature audience. This new free-to-play Battle Royale shooter brings something totally fresh to the table, and I'm here to tell you why it's worth jumping in and knowing about, just because this game is about to break the mold of online gaming. Why do I think that? There's a special part to this game that will make it way more valuable than any other Battle Royale game currently on the market. But before we get into that, let's talk about what this game is first. Off the Grid is currently in an early release game state with only a limited Battle Royale experience. The game mode is called Extraction Royale, where teams of 3 go head to head in a wild fusion of Battle Royale and Extraction Shooter. Oh, but there's a twist. They get rid of your arms and legs, no biggie, right? But don't worry, they got you covered with some shiny new cyber limbs. Buy them, win them, or better yet, steal them off some poor enemy you just took down. Nothing says cooperation like ripping a guy's legs off as loot, right? Once you hit the ground, you'd better hustle. There are supply crates scattered all around Teardrop. Grab them fast because there's always a faster, better team lurking around the corner waiting to turn you into cyber scrap. Speaking of loot, there's something you really need to get your greedy little hands on, the Hex. This bad boy is the most valuable thing on the island, but the catch is you need to use an extractor to ship it off the island before you get killed. What's in the Hex? We're talking cyber limbs, guns, money, even skins. But none of that happens if you don't ship it off the island fast. And well, let's just say someone will make you regret it with a bullet to the head if you can't defend your extractor. But hey, don't worry too much about getting blasted into oblivion. You'll respawn, yep, you'll come back after a countdown as long as one of your teammates aren't 6 feet under too. And when the game gets tired of watching you stumble around like a newborn giraffe, it'll activate a closing circle. You know, that big growing death trap that'll burn you alive if you don't stay in bounds. Trust me, you'll end up extra crispy if you don't hurry. So, if by some miracle you and your squad actually survive all this madness, congratulations! You emerge victorious. And we'll have to begrudgingly admit that maybe, just maybe, you're not a complete waste of cyber parts. Need more firepower because your stock weapons aren't getting the job done? Then head on over to the OTG Armory. It has the best guns around, and if you're in need of some custom upgrades, you can buy them using the in-game currency called guns. Now I promised I'd tell you what makes this game so special, so here it is. Off the Grid is the first AAA game to use guns in its marketplace. What is guns? It's the platform that allows you to turn your in-game items into NFTs, allowing you to truly own your in-game items. And all these items are being secured by a crypto blockchain called Avalanche, which is specifically created with gaming in mind. Think about how this will pioneer the way games are played in the future. No longer will your grind be for nothing because ownership means being able to sell, store, and trade your digital items, which have actual rarity and value in the gaming space. It would get even better if other games started to adopt the guns platform because those items would also be able to be transferred into that space and used in that game. The introduction of NFTs into the space also allows people to mint new NFTs and introduce them to the game, thereby creating a brand new economy that allows creators, gamers, and investors to participate in the marketplace. Alright, review time! Alright, so let's talk about Off the Grid. After about 40 matches, I gotta say, it's kinda not fun. And before you roll your eyes, let me explain why. The main issue is matchmaking. It feels like new players like myself are constantly thrown into matches with people who are leagues ahead in skill. I mean, we're talking players with better weapons, better loadouts, and way more experience. It's just not fun. Like, seriously, it's giving me Apex Legend vibes all over again. Remember that? When you spent half the game looting only to get melted by someone who wasn't even pinging on the map like 5 seconds ago? Yeah, it's that bad. So what happens is you spend all your time looting, getting your gear together, and then bam, dead. Respawn, dead. Respawn, dead again. You can't even get a single elimination in, and that's the problem. A huge problem. And if Off the Grid doesn't fix this, the game's gonna bleed players faster than it can bring them in. Simple as that. Here's the thing, there is ways to fix it. They could add bots like Apex did with their bot royales, or I don't know, maybe tweak the matchmaking so we're not getting thrown in with pros right out of the gate. And can we talk about the training grounds? Yeah, those could use some serious improvements too. Right now, I've got zero confidence in this game, and because players are not going to sit around waiting for 5 to 10 minutes just to get into a match and get wiped out instantly. Respawn, wiped out, dead again, rinse and repeat. How is that fun? Look at games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, or even Farlight 84. They understand how to ease new players in. You get a chance to learn, make mistakes, and not feel like you're just target practice for veterans. At least give us the satisfaction of giving some eliminations. If I'm gonna respawn every 30 seconds, can I at least feel like I'm not completely useless in the process? And don't get me started on the in-game economy. You need guns to purchase stuff. But the only way to get guns is by performing well in the game, like extracting, getting assists, eliminations, completing missions. But how is that supposed to happen when you can't even stay alive long enough to do any of that? I mean, guess what? You won't level up, you won't get good gear, and your confidence will be completely gone. It's a vicious cycle. The good players get better gear, more hexes, more guns, while the rest of us get stuck with scraps, struggling just to stay in the game. If that keeps happening, people are gonna move on. Who wants to play a game where you're basically target practice for higher skilled players? I mean, we already have games like that. It's called Apex Legends. And then there's the whole cheating issue. If Off the Grid doesn't have a solid anti-cheat in place, you're gonna see high skilled players and cheaters farming hexes like it's a job. And when you throw NFTs into the mix, forget about it. People will spend a few bucks on cheats just to farm NFTs for in-game currency. Go ahead. Google cheat providers for Off the Grid. They're already out there, Corona Zen users included. And that's not good at all. Off the Grid has great potential, but man, it's frustrating right now. If the devs don't fix these issues fast, the game is going to be dead in the water before it even fully launches. And that's just my 2 cents. But you should still get out there and try it and see, maybe you have better luck. Maybe it's just me or the way I'm playing. Has anybody else had the same frustrating experience I've had? Or am I just the exception? I mean, I do well in other games. I do well in Call of Duty. I do well in Fortnite. I do okay in Apex bot lobbies, but once I get into the actual matches, I get roasted. I also do okay in X Defiant. So what are those games doing that this game just isn't doing, that is not helping new players to onboard?